Hi, everybody. My name is Vishesh Alabadi, and welcome back to my podcast, Cosmetic with Vishesh Alabadi. Today, we have a very special guest with us. His name is Mr. Pritesh Asher. He's a co founder of Juicy Chemistry, and they have done tremendously well in the natural and organic sector. They have bought products which are amazing, which are clean, which are very good to use on your body. So, welcome, Pritesh.
Thank you so much, Vishesh, for having me on this podcast. Excited to be here.
It's my pleasure. So, just to begin with, I will request you to kindly introduce yourself a bit.
Absolutely. So I'm Pritesh Asher, co-founder at Juicy Chemistry. We started the brand in 2014 with a vision to change the way India perceived natural and organic cosmetics. Started my journey back in India in 2005. I came back from Australia after finishing my bachelor's in business management. Um, Before that, I was in Chinmaya International Residential School where I met Megha, who's my better half and also the co-founder at Juicy Chemistry. So we went to Australia together. We studied and came back. Married in 2009. Joined my family business after coming back from Australia,
Okay.
and together we started Juicy Chemistry in 2014. And it's been a phenomenal journey where we've discovered so many things in the process, and the learning is constant, and we're really thankful for this journey to make a difference in people's lives by eliminating harsh chemicals from everyday use cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
That's how pretty much our personal issue, what Mega was facing
Okay.
with PCOD,
Okay.
led us to create India's first certified organic skin and personal care brand with over 120 products and certification by EcoCert France in accordance to Cosmos standards. So it's
Oh,
been a phenomenal journey, Vishesh. Glad to relive this a little bit with you today.
good. I'm happy to be listening to you, like from the source itself. So that's why I love this podcast because I get to hear the stories firsthand. Right.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
you mentioned EcoCert. Can you just elaborate a bit on that? Because I happen to know about it a little bit, but I want my listeners to
Okay.
about what EcoCert is and why
Yeah.
do you mention EcoCert so specifically?
Right, right. Uh, the reason why a little backstory here. The reason why Juicy Chemistry came into being was it was a very situational occurrence that happened with me when I was visiting a regular supermarket close to the home, trying
Mm-hmm.
to do your weekly groceries and restocking. That is when a person actually tried to come and sell us or introduce us to a newly launched organic quote unquote Ayurvedic product. And Mega, like I said, was suffering from PCOD, and she was always having trouble with store bought or drugstore bought products, because that always used to create some sort of a negative impact
Okay.
on her post certain amount of usage. And she was almost in that loop, right? Because she kept changing products, but the results were obviously very temporary, and she was looking for something more permanent and more solution oriented rather than just cover up. And when I looked at it, I said, Mega, look, this looks like a new Ayurvedic product or a natural product, maybe, because she wanted to change her, everyday skin and personal care routine to a natural routine. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is something that, you could try. But when I looked at the back of the ingredients, I could identify a lot of petrochemicals. And the reason I could identify a lot of petrochemicals is because of my family business, which was into manufacturing of industrial and automotive lubricants. We
Okay.
used to manufacture engine oils, gear oils, cutting oil fluids, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And I could identify a lot of these chemicals because we used to supply not just in the automotive industry. Some of it also was getting supplied to the personal care industry as well back in the day. So
Okay.
I couldn't understand, why a product which had coconut hibiscus neem in the front of the label
Mm-hmm.
had surfactants, artificial colors, fragrances, preservation systems, uh, you know so many things that were not forget about being organic or Ayurvedic, but not even from the natural origin.
Okay.
And obviously the first ingredient that I saw was water, and then all sorts of silicones and so on and so forth. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why this product is claiming itself to be natural and organic, whilst the back of the label is actually telling a very different story.
Correct.
And that's how it's sort of, I spoke to Megha and I said, something doesn't add up here, Megha, and maybe this is one of the reasons why you're not seeing efficacy in the product, right? So she looked at me and shrugged and said, "Hey, listen, this is what is available, right? What am I going to do?" That sort of was the starting point in our a seed thought was actually implanted in us, and we looked at each other and said there had to be a better way, at least for ourselves. If
Mm-hmm.
not, if not for obviously the business idea around this didn't develop in our minds, but at least for ourselves, we should try and figure out something which is more natural, because you're really looking for something like that.
Okay.
We spoke to family and friends and also understood that not many people knew about this, whilst they were inclined to use a more natural and organic product,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously didn't understand the nuances around how to go about selecting a product, right? So this actually came out to be a very big wide gap in the market for us, and we said, can we at least try to formulate something? Because given my background in formulations and working with oils in the past, I said,
Mm-hmm.
let me try my hand at it. So we started off with a 10 by 10 kitchen, with 5,000 rupees seed money. And I said, let's try and formulate. So the idea from the formulation to the shelf was very clear in our mind. But when we started sourcing, we understood that, there is no process that was being followed right from the ingredient level, because at the ingredient level, I was actually getting the same product or the same ingredient in different forms, different colors, different smells, different viscosities,
Mm-hmm.
which led me to the point of asking this question: if my ingredient is not clean enough, or I would say, um, at the very source of it, if I'm not getting the product vetted, how am I so sure that my finished product is actually free of any of these adulterants? So that's when I looked at organic, as a
Mm-hmm.
option. I started doing a lot of research around how I can um, set up my supply chain in a manner in which, where I'm very transparent about the kind of ingredients that I'm using in my product. So that's when I started looking at organic as a way forward to streamline this. But I also understood that organic has phenomenal benefits for skin and hair,
Correct.
because the soil itself is obviously reconditioned for 3 years. With no use of insecticides, pesticides, fungicides, any sort of GMOs, which led to a produce which was in growing in its own natural habitat. And research obviously showed that it had 60% more nutrients
Mm-hmm.
than a commercial plot of land which was growing the same sort of produce. So I said,
Correct.
if I am able to give nutrients to the skin, that automatically solves my problem, because that's eventually what the skin needs, or your body needs. So why not just give nutrients to the skin, rather than looking at lab grown substitutes? Why
Correct.
don't I give the real thing? So that's when we started researching, and we understood that let's look at organic. But unfortunately, there was no certification body, no supplier at that time who was actually willing to even consider organic as a supply chain, right? They looked at
Okay.
me and they laughed at me and they said, ये क्या मतलब क्यों कर रहे हो ये, right? I mean, ये मतलब खाने की चीजें हमारे पास certified हैं, but we don't have anything in the cosmetic realm of things which is organic. So I said, how can I actually solve this problem? And that's when I looked at either USDA, I looked at Apera in India. But at that particular point in time, there was no certification body that was doing cosmetics. The only one that was doing and had an office here was EcoCert.
Okay.
And EcoCert, then I researched, was one of the largest organic certification bodies in the world. They did cosmetics, they had Cosmos
Correct.
Standard. And I said, listen, this is what I need to ensure that there is a due diligence that is being done on my behalf by a
Mm-hmm.
third party agency, which can then give me the confidence that the product itself, the ingredient that I'm looking to work with itself, is of high quality, is not been adulterated, is from an organic, source where there is no, use of any of these, chemicals that I'm actually looking to keep away from my production line. So
Correct.
that actually, it really helped us, but it took us about a year and a half to get our first product certified organic. And it was been such a learning curve for us, because we had to reinvent the entire supply chain from scratch, right? Because I understood that at the ingredient level, what I was sourcing from my existing suppliers basically was just, not good enough quality to
Mm-hmm.
make any difference onto the skin on application, or have any sort of bioactivity in them,
Mm-hmm.
to make a difference on the consumer on application, right? So that's how, our entire product line revolved around, ingredients,
Correct.
because good quality ingredient, good quality product, and in enough quantities so that it actually has phytonutrients to show bioactivity on the skin on application. That's how, the dotted lines, sort of joined eventually.
So I think, like I remember a very small phrase here: to garbage in, garbage out, which is if you put in
Hmm.
the garbage, you will eventually get the garbage, and that's where you
Absolutely.
like happen to meet there. Like the products that
Yeah.
you were getting were garbage, in the sense
Yeah.
that they had negative implication on the skin,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Absolutely.
that's where you
Absolutely.
put that's where you're pointing towards the right ingredients so that you get the right output in basic.
Correct.
Yeah, and then the bioavailability of the same matters a lot. If it is not
Absolutely. And
absorbing properly, then there is no point of using it all at all.
no, absolutely. I mean, your skin recognizes nutrients, right? Our bodies are
Mm-hmm.
built that way. And to give you an example, if you're sourcing olive oil, for example,
Mm-hmm.
there are more than 10 or 15 different varieties of olive oil that's available in the market, right?
Correct,
Virgin,
correct,
extra virgin, first press, cold pressed, pomace grade, mixed grade. There are so many, right? But your inky list, your ingredient list will always read,
uh-huh,
olive oil. But
correct.
consumers don't understand the quality of the olive oil that has gone inside the manufacturing facility, or
Mm-hmm.
the product itself, for it to actually have any sort of positive result to the skin on application. And I think that's the problem that we were looking to solve, right? Because there was a lot of greenwashing that was happening in the industry,
Okay.
not just in terms of the ingredient that were getting used, but also from the fact that there was a lot of perceiving by the consumer about the greenness of the product. I would say, quote unquote, greenness of the product, because consumers thought ये natural है, ये Ayurvedic है.
Correct.
But without understanding the complete nuances of these terminologies. And of course in India, the laws around um, claiming something is not very evolved at this point in time, right? So we
Correct.
wanted to address this greenwashing for the consumer and make sure that they are actually understanding what they are buying, right? So it was two-way street for me, because
Mm-hmm.
when I got EcoCert certification for my products, I was not just able to backtrack to my supply chain and say the quality of my product is good, but I was also, by the virtue of carrying a badge of EcoCert on my product, was
Mm-hmm.
able to clearly define the percentage of organic products in my formulation, the
Mm-hmm.
the source of the product itself, is it organic or from natural origin,
Correct.
and also tell the consumer the entire inky list that actually went into my product, through which the formulation was actually created, right? And it also encompassed cruelty free certification. It also
Mm-hmm.
encompassed um, production methods. It also encompassed sustainability factors as well, right? Because EcoCert
Okay.
is an end-to-end formulation, an end-to-end certification which encompasses all these things, right, from soil to shelf. So
Okay.
it gave me a very clear narrative that I could tell my consumers in a very transparent way that this is what the product entails, this is how it is packaged, this is the ingredient list, and the due diligence for the consumer has been done uh, by EcoCert on their behalf,
Mm-hmm.
and Juicy Chemistry has undergone all these rigorous processes to eventually carry that logo on the product, which tells the consumer that, hey, listen, this product is in its own standing with certification. So it's not just a claim; it's actually backed by proper processes which the consumer can have tangible and visual understanding of what they are actually buying.
Got it, got it, got it. So see, I will also not blame the consumer here. The consumer was one not aware that this kind of system, like the difference in olive oils, one, right?
Yeah,
So they are not aware like what are the kind of different kind of olive oils that are available to the
correct,
manufacturer. Even
correct,
when if I go to like say a supermarket right now and I pick up an olive oil,
right,
so I have 10
correct.
varieties there wherein I can pick any,
Yep,
like one would be 500 or another would be 1500 rupees as well.
correct,
Now,
correct.
to clear out the difference also is a task that they have to undergo.
Yes,
But
yes,
like, and coming into the cosmetics and as an ingredient would actually be a difficult task for the consumer to know. For that,
absolutely.
I will give the benefit out to the consumer. But yes, the
Yeah,
companies have had to take an initiative to educate the consumer. This is what is right for you, and this is what we are
yeah,
doing in the sense that makes sense for you. And that's what where
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
you made a good mark there. That
Yeah,
like you happen to get EcoCert certifications for your end-to-end processes, so as to get
correct,
us like a stamp that this is a certified authentic, in the sense
correct.
that you're using the right products, right processes,
Yeah,
everything in the right manner.
absolutely.
I
So I
think.
think the responsibility falls on the manufacturer to be transparent with the consumers and let the decision of selection be in their hands in a
Mhm.
manner in which that empowers them to make that decision actually. So that's something that we've done very differently than
Mhm.
the industry standard.
I think that has actually made a mark for your brand as well. Because I remember Mr. Luke, like mentioning your brand specifically on his
Yes,
Instagram handle. That
correct,
so I think like he's a person who is no BS thing. He tells it that this is the
absolutely.
right thing, this is the wrong thing, very clear, no influence of anything. And he
Yeah,
clearly mentioned that this yours is one brand which is actually certified prop, and they're using and you guys are using the right ingredients for your products. So
absolutely.
that's where it was actually amazing to see somebody with that influence recommending your product, your brands.
Absolutely. It was a phenomenal, uh, you know, association for us as well,
Mm-hmm.
because what we definitely understood right from the initial days of Juicy Chemistry is that we are not just a skin and hair care brand. We are
Uh-huh.
actually foraying into the wellness category as well, right? Because
Correct.
um, the the usage of cosmetics is actually it obviously has a very big impact, right, on us on an everyday basis, right? So
Correct.
understanding what you are doing on an everyday basis has a huge impact on the long-term health of your body as well, right? So we understood very clearly, right from the inception of the brand that we are not just into the cosmetic, foray of things.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually a wellness brand, right? We are actually trying to create a difference, not just at the topical level, but mind, body, and soul as well, because there are so many ingredients that we use and source from around the world, which
Mm-hmm.
have therapeutic properties in them. So having that sort of an endorsement reinstilled in our minds that we are on the right path here.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And that's why I can see a lot of awards mentioned on your website. In fact, I
Yes,
think you've been recognized as 40 under 45 Business World and top 50 emerging beauty, one of the top 50 emerging beauty industry leaders. So congratulations on that, first of all. And
thanks, Vishesh. Thanks. It's been a great
like,
learning curve for us.
yeah, so and that has been validated by the industry as well. So how do these recognitions impact your vision and future plans for your brand? Like.
I think if anything, else, I think this just puts more responsibility on us as a brand and as individuals as well,
Mhm.
because we've like you said, we've earned phenomenal trust and love from the consumers over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and that while is a phenomenal place to be, it also adds in a lot of responsibility on us to do right by the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So we've taken this as a mission for the brand to add value at all specters of cosmetics or everyday use products, and make sure that we are adding um, wellness factor in their shelves every single day. And our
Mm-hmm.
mission is to get to as many people as possible and have a positive impact in that front. So it, we've shaped with the consumers direction that they have provided us. Over the years, we started off with a very small SKU line, soaps, hair oils, etc. But
Mm-hmm.
then the consumers really molded the way we were also taking this brand forward. They always came back to us. They gave us phenomenal feedback. One of the things that we did with the consumers feedback was make sure that organic was not boring. Generally, when you think about organic, natural, Ayurvedic, the general consensus was that हाँ, Ayurvedic है तो मतलब slow काम करेगा, but it's not very user friendly, but at least
Mm-hmm.
it's not harmful for you, so try करना चाहिए, right? I mean, for a long term benefit, this is good for you. That was the general perception of organic and natural, or even in the Ayurvedic industry. So that's something that we wanted to change.
Mm-hmm.
And the perception of that, we made it very clear that because our products are organic, we'll not make it less user friendly. We want to make it as user friendly, as experiential as
Mm-hmm.
a commercial product. So that comes from listening to our consumers over the years, speaking to them, understanding, taking their feedback at every stage of our processes. That's
Mm-hmm.
really helped shape the company to where it is today. And very recently, Juicy Chemistry is forayed into color cosmetics as well, because that
Yeah.
was one of the reasons that the consumers actually came back to us and said everything that's available in the market is either long stay,
Mm-hmm.
either irritates my eye, clogs my pores, is
Mm-hmm.
very heavy on pigment. I use makeup every day. I don't need a very heavy makeup every day. Can you make something which is true to my own self, and just feels like myself, and not overwhelms me every time I need to reach out to my makeup. So
Correct.
that's something that we understood, that there was again a huge demand for natural cosmetics in India,
Mm-hmm.
a huge wide gap that we wanted to fill. And I think it took us about 18 months to 24 months, I think, to from ideation to shelf, but we did it.
Yeah,
um,
I see a
that's
lot
how
of
the
these
journey
products.
is become.
So it's called color chemistry, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, our line, our product extension in the cosmetic field is coming under the color chemistry portfolio.
Mm-hmm. And so you have almost everything that I can see. So foundation, bake, compact, concealer, lip
Yes,
tints, lip gloss, lipstick.
yes.
So all of this is again EcoCert certified.
Most of them are. All our foundations are EcoCert certified.
Okay.
Um, our lip and cheek tints are EcoCert certified. Some of the products are not under the EcoCert certification as yet. We are working towards it. The
Okay.
reason why they are not into the certification is that darker colors like reds, for example, need
Mm-hmm.
to have a pigment which is not from an organic source, right? It's from a synthetic source.
Okay.
The reason why we went synthetic is because we didn't want to have carmine in our formulations, which is
Okay.
basically arriving or derived from beetles,
Oh, okay.
which we obviously didn't want to. We didn't want, and we are obviously a cruelty-free brand. So we, refrain from going that direction, and because we have a lot of reds in our formulations, we've kept them away from formulations, but they are still natural
Correct.
in their formulation. So
Okay.
some technical difficulties in getting the product certified, but I think we are on the right direction to get the entire line coming under the in the realm of certification.
Amazing. That's amazing. That actually amazing because a color cosmetic is one thing that's really really hard to get it right in terms of organic.
Yes,
That
absolutely,
that is something
absolutely.
that I like know of over like for some reason. So yeah,
Yeah,
so actually I'll tell you if I don't think you know about it. So my family has a manufacturing business for last 50 years. So we
lovely,
manufacture cosmetics, skincare, hair care, body care, everything. We have not
lovely.
done color cosmetics, but like everything about personal care is something that we have done. So my father used to
Lovely.
manufacture it, so I know like what goes into it, how it goes, and like
Absolutely.
so he like he'll be, in fact he'll be the right person to tell you all about it. I've not been into
Yes.
manufacturing myself, but I have
Oh,
been
okay.
in good discussions with him.
No, no, absolutely. Would love to, exchange notes, learn a thing or two about formulations from him whenever time permits, for sure.
Sure, sure, sure. So yeah, just like let's tell me something about like say you know what does not belong on the skin, right? So what do you think are the common misconceptions of the consumers in general, right, about the skincare ingredients which are present in the current products, like which are available in the market?
Look, there are misconceptions aplenty, to be honest, Vishesh. Obviously, we don't expect the consumers to understand, the nuances of each and every ingredient because there are many, right?
Correct.
One of the common misconceptions that we generally see or we come across because of our virtue of, being in touch with the consumers almost, every single day, both Megha and I
Mm-hmm.
are constantly in touch with our consumer support, customer support team to understand what the consumers are looking out for, what are the pain points and things like that.
Okay.
We understand that consumers generally think that one of the misconceptions is that more is better, right?
Okay.
They want to experiment with a lot of products on their skin. Generally think that ज़्यादा use करेंगे तो better results आएंगे, right?
Okay.
Faster results आएंगे.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the misconceptions that we've been trying to tackle since a very long time.
Okay.
Um, and the Our skin doesn't work that way, or our bodies don't work that way, right? I always give this example that I want to obviously tone up. I want to have a six pack, but is it natural for me to expect to hit the gym one day and get up next day morning with a six pack, stand in front of the mirror and start flexing? It's not going to happen, right?
Definitely.
It's not going to happen. It's a process. It's
Yes.
it's how you understand your body, what works for you, what doesn't work for you.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are so beautifully different than one another, right? So accepting that and understanding that it's a process is such an important understanding that one needs to have before they start their skin and hair care journey. And I
Correct.
think that we've been working towards making that understanding very clear, right from our communications on our our social channels, on our website. If you look at our our products, we have a lot of disclaimers there.
Mm-hmm.
We tell the consumer that just because a product is natural and organic does not mean that it's going to start suiting you from the first day, right?
Exactly.
Individually, the product is phenomenal, right? It's got all the nutrients, it's got all the power packed potent ingredients that we want to formulate with, but is it the right ingredient for you is something that you'll have to try, test, and figure out for yourself.
Correct.
It's a journey that you will have to take individually. So it's not that the formulation is bad, it's the adaptation of that ingredient in that formulation on your skin is what we need to figure out, right? So we are very different in that way, and this misconception I think needs to be very clearly highlighted, and we keep doing that on a very regular basis. Our shampoo actually has a disclaimer which says you will go through a transition because we are an organic product. It's a sulfate free product, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been using a sulfate based shampoo for years together, and overnight you switch to an organic product and you expect it to work exactly the same way as a sulfate based product would perform on your hair. It's
Mm-hmm.
unrealistic to expect the same result, right? It's a transition, it's an adaptation phase that you as an individual will have to go through it. So one
Correct.
is commitment to organic.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency is very underrated in skincare. Consistency is something that we very directly proportionately attribute to efficacy, right?
Okay.
Consistency is equal to efficacy, right? If you know that
That's
the
true.
product is working, and if you know it's really adapted well to you, the compounding effect of that is very underrated, I would say. So that's something that there is a misconception that हाँ 2-3 हफ्ते में अगर result नहीं आया तो यार product अच्छा नहीं है या फिर ये काम नहीं कर रहा है.
Correct.
So that kind of industry expectations or individualistic expectations need to be corrected. Setting the expectation right is very important, and that's something that we've been very clear and super transparent with our consumers about. So I think in that sense, these are just some of the things that are the top of my mind.
So that's really good that you touched upon those points. In fact, I was going through your website. It's very, very beautifully crafted. I think like if I go to any product, first of all, I like reaching to a product is very easy. Then
Yeah.
I'm on a like product page right now, and I can see everything very clearly defined. Right? How do I
Correct.
use it? There's a video along with it. Then the certifications. Then all the questions that like FAQs that anybody has. And I think this is more than any other company that is projecting right now,
Yeah.
because
Correct.
this is actually the most transparent website that I've seen in a while.
Yeah. Thanks, Asher. Glad you feel so.
Actually, I would like to compliment on your website. It's actually very beautiful and it's very useful and informative. If anybody wants to know about your products, and if anybody wants to get to know about the mission, get to know about the formulation and everything, it's definitely worth checking out. All my listeners,
Thank you.
go check out juicychemistry.com. You'll definitely love the website. Right. So yeah, moving on.
Thanks.
So yeah, like you rightly mentioned that it has to be like consistent effort. The efficacy is directly proportional to the consistency. I think
Right.
people today who are like following Instagram, they would like second you on the same. Like if you
Yeah.
keep on posting regularly, you will definitely like hit the right numbers in terms of followers. That's the same thing that I think is like this is the closest analogy that I can think of right now.
True. Very true.
Right. So like, and let's move on to your next like plans. What are your plans for Juicy Chemistry in the future? What are the innovations that you
Uh,
look forward to?
we are obviously, we've also evolved, Vishesh, in our thought process and our understanding. And it's been, like I said, it's been a phenomenal learning journey for us as well as founders. We started off with, just oil-based formulations because, we didn't understand much on formulation with water-based ingredients. But skin doesn't work like that. Skin needs both hydration and moisturization and nutrients at the same time. And just basic understanding of the skin genome has helped us to introduce so many firsts in India, if I may put it that way.
Okay.
In terms of technological advances that we've brought to our consumers, the product variations that we've brought to our consumers, both water-based, oil-based formulations, rinse-off, leave-in products. I think we have a phenomenal range of products that if a consumer is looking to I always say upgrade to organic. And every consumer is looking to upgrade their choice to organic. We have everything that they would need from head to toe. We are constantly looking at various technological advances from around the world in skin and beauty. To bring products which are meaningful and add phenomenal value to the consumers while it uplifts their lifestyle as well. So our effort is consistent. Very recently we launched, like I said, ampules, which is one of the first in India to get the encapsulated technology for serums in India. It's a single-use, 7-day intense moisturization and nourishing treatment, which we are actually getting manufactured from our technology partner in Spain. We got India's first cellular extracts with in association with our Australian technology partner. Which is a cellular extract of the plant and delivers, the complete profile of the plant nutrients in a bottle on application. We are India's first, naturally derived vitamin C, which is also stable, by the way. Vitamin C is a very, very unstable ingredient, and that's the reason why most of the formulations are, synthetic. because
Mm-hmm.
it keeps the product stable. We've
Correct.
encapsulated cacao plum uh,
Mm-hmm.
through a cellular extraction technology, which brings ascorbic acid, which is biological ascorbic acid, into a formulation in a matrix of water and glycerine to keep the product stable for over 2 years
Amazing.
in its full glory, the plant itself, right? So we are constantly working to ensure that we are bringing phenomenal products to our consumers, and it's a constant journey for us.
Pritesh, you mentioned about the cellular technology. Can you detail it out for us? What exactly does it do, and what exactly is the benefit of it when you add it to the product ingredients, right?
Right. At the sound of getting, at the risk of sounding too technical, I'll just try to simplify it as much as possible. Cellular extraction technology, or a process, is a very advanced process in which we are able to extract the complete hydrophilic, which is basically water-based, water-soluble nutrients, if I may put it that way,
Okay.
into the extraction medium. So the medium that we are using over here is water and glycerine in
Mm-hmm.
an enclosed, completely enclosed environment in a high-pressure system with
Okay.
slow bursts of pressure and release, to ensure that we are actually breaking into the cellular capillaries of the plant to
Okay.
extract the very essence of the plant itself in its from the nuclei level, right? So the creating a process, in creating an environment, not a process, creating an environment where the cells actually um, uh, feel like they are in its natural habitat and therefore don't rupture or dissipate, is very crucial for the bioactivity of this particular raw material that we are working with, to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that it has extreme high amount of potency and permeability into the skin, for it to actually have visible results on application to the skin, right? So we don't in any manner
Mm-hmm.
disrupt the natural life process of the plant, but at the
Okay.
same time create an environment externally to the plant to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that the cellular extract that we have of the plant lives in the matrix of water and glycerine. So that's how we've been able to work with native species
Mm-hmm.
in that particular country to extract, like I was talking to you about vitamin C from cacao plum, which is the world's largest known source of vitamin C, almost
Mm-hmm.
50, 60 times higher than an orange in terms of
Oh,
its
okay.
vitamin C content. And we work with mountain pepperberry, for example, which is phenomenal, in anti-aging properties. We have products like queen garnet, which are great in quercetin. These are phenomenal phytonutrients that are available, that our body actually absorbs and needs for all processes that are related to skin as well. For example,
Mm-hmm.
plumping up the skin, deep hydration, repairing and restoring, anti-inflammatory properties. It's a process that we discovered a couple of years back, which was being done by a phenomenal research institution in Australia,
Okay.
and we tied up with them and made sure that we were working with some of the very indigenous plants that survive at around 55 degrees centigrade, and
Mm-hmm.
have created systems within their structure to
Mm-hmm.
fight external aggressors. And that's exactly what we've replicated for our skin and personal care products as well.
Nice. So this is one of the best things that I've heard in a while, in terms of getting the right ingredients and the technology around it. So I'm quite fascinated about the technology in any
Yeah,
aspect of
absolutely.
life. In fact, but putting it into like this particular manner, but this particular ingredient process, like
Yeah,
extracting the right nutrients in the ingredients,
yeah,
is
Yeah.
Amazing, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Because some previous maceration techniques, or techniques which include heating, freezing, sometimes do affect the quality of the kind of ingredients you want to work with. So this gives us so many new avenues to tap into plant nutrients without actually
mhm.
having to disrupt its natural biology, and
Okay.
make it available to the skin on application. Bioavailability is the most important thing when it comes to working with plant nutrients,
Correct.
and that's why it's the most difficult as compared to working with or delivering nutrients, or delivering not nutrients, I would say delivering effectiveness through synthetics versus delivering nutrients through plant matter is a very different process altogether.
Sure. So just to make it more clear, can you explain bioavailability to our listeners?
Bioavailability is nothing but simple as this, right? I mean, if you say that this particular product is going to help with, say, for example, clearing up your acne, or subsiding acne, for example, you apply something onto the skin which from a plant source, but if the plant source does not have that active ingredient on the application, if you don't transfer the nutrients onto the skin, then you're not going to see visible results, right? So if the nutrient is not available in that particular plant material that you're looking to work with, then the bioavailability, or one is the quantity of it and the potency of it, right? If it's not sufficient in both ways, your skin will not be able to take the benefits from the product and show results, right? So if it's not available, if it's not bioavailable, basically the active substance that needs to be there in the product on application is not there, you'll obviously not see results, right? Both in terms of percentage of quantity, or in terms of the potency of the product. So bioavailability simply means the nutrient profile that needs to be alive or needs to be available to the skin on application is the bioavailability of the product.
Amazing, amazing. That's like quite. I think you really know about your stuff. That's what I can say about after interacting with you for this long. We have had very few small interactions earlier, but this is
Absolutely, Vishesh. Thank you
something.
so much for that. But
Yeah, this is
it's
amazing.
something that has come over the years of
Definitely,
research.
definitely. That's why I wanted you to come as a guest speaker on my podcast, because I know like you know a lot of stuff. You've been doing this for 24 since 2014. It's close to like 10
Yes,
years now. And I think
it's
you've
going to be
opened
close
your
to 10
first
years.
store as well, like coming from
Oh,
D2C, it's offline store as well.
we in fact have 6 flagship stores
Oh,
now.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've had 6 flagship stores, and we are also available in over 250 touch points across India in various cities.
Oh,
And now we are definitely looking at expanding our offline presence to over 500 touch points in the next 2 to 3 quarters.
that's amazing. So can you share the locations for these 6 flagship stores that you have, so that if
Yes,
some of our listeners are there, they can just simply visit.
absolutely. We have 2 stores in Coimbatore, both high street stores, one in Araspram, one in Racecourse. We have one flagship store at Lulu Mall in Cochin.
Okay.
The other one is in Phoenix Market City in Chennai. We've very recently opened, our first flagship in Bangalore at the RMZ Galleria Mall, which is in Yalahanka. In fact, the sixth store is in Ahmedabad.
Oh, okay.
At Ashok Vatika. It's G42 Ashok Vatika. It's another high street store that's there for anybody who is in Ahmedabad can go and visit there. So that's our 6 stores we have. The 7th one coming up in Chennai again, which is going to be a kiosk in Express Avenue, and the
Okay.
8th one again will be in Bangalore, which is going to be in Orion. So that's all. It's all a work in progress at this point.
Oh, that's amazing. You should open a store in Delhi.
We
People will
are
love
we are
it.
looking to. Absolutely, well. That's next on our agenda. To be very honest with you, to expand more into west and north. We are looking out for good opportunities that come our way to expand in these cities for sure. I mean, Delhi is a phenomenal market for us. We have a great consumer base there in Delhi that
I'm sure,
shops on
yeah.
our brand website. So they've been wanting us to come there for a while now, and we are cognizant of that fact, and we'll take necessary steps to have experiential store open there very quickly.
Perfect. So I'll be happy to take my friends there as well.
Absolutely, Visesh. We'll love to.
So just tell me something how have you seen the landscape change in 2014 till today in the organic space, organic and natural personal care segment? If we talk about, what do you think has
Uh,
changed significantly in these last 9, 10 years?
I think one thing that we as a brand have been able to, influence, if I may put it that way, is the knowledge and the transfer of information that that we've been able to do to our consumers. For consumers to understand what organic is, why
Mm-hmm.
should we look at labels, why they should be reading ingredients, why should they be asking questions to the brand. Don't take everything at face value. Reach out to the brand in case of doubt.
Mm-hmm.
um, some things that never existed in the past. People were not able to reach out to the large incumbents and ask these questions. We as a brand have managed to change that quite drastically over the years. We've seen the kind of questions that the consumers would ask, and versus the consumers that are asking today. They are aware of a lot of these technicalities in skin and personal care products, and it's obviously happened due to a lot of we don't take the entire credit for it, but we also understand that the consumer has evolved over the years, right? I mean, they have access to data, they have access to research, they have access to influencers today, where
Correct.
there is a lot of education that has been passed on to the consumers, and they're asking the right questions, which is a phenomenal step, if you ask me, because people understand trans epidermal water loss today. People
Mm-hmm.
understand the use of hyaluronic acid. People
Mm-hmm.
understand which percentage of vitamin C is actually suitable for them or not. So this has actually opened up phenomenal educative avenues for the consumers to learn from each other, understand which products are working, not working, how they should be selecting the products, what is
Mm-hmm.
their skin type, and what products will suit best for their particular requirements. So I think there is a huge evolved audience today on the other side, and I think we
Correct.
are dealing with consumers that are not just coming to look for a product, they're actually coming to look for a solution. So that's the
Yes.
biggest change I see in the last decade or so, which is great. But unfortunately, I don't see a lot of brands today still being transparent with their communication to the consumers, and I think that uh, there has to be a stricter law
Mm-hmm.
that needs to be constructed around claims. I think there is a lot of steps that have been taken. Obviously, it's a
Mm-hmm.
process, and I think a few years from now, I think we'll have a much more stringent, how do I say it, policy
Mm-hmm.
around what you can claim and what you can do. I think it's a constant evolvement process, but a huge change from a decade ago.
Yes, I was actually talking on the similar lines with Mr. Vaibhav Mittal from Lovely Lifestyle.
Right,
So I just I happened to post a podcast with him as well. So we were having
right.
discussion around the same organic, natural beauty and how things have evolved in India, and how customers are still willing to they're not willing to pay a higher amount for the qualitative product, and a qualitative product can only be made at a certain cost.
Correct.
Then that has to be translated into this the MRP as well, because
Right.
ultimately the companies exist to make a little profit so that they can sustain
Yeah.
themselves and maybe provide a good lifestyle to the employees there. So
Correct.
the cost of that particular good ingredient, it has to be borne by the consumers because they are looking for a solution which can actually benefit themselves. I think
Right.
we the things that you mentioned right here are on the similar track that we were discussing. So this is actually the situation right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
just one more thing that I'm curious about is I see a separate tab of magnesium on your website, and I see magnesium wellness products,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
can you just tell me a bit about this? That like I see three products: sound sleeping lotion, muscle soothing
Yeah.
lotion, unwinding night lotion,
Yeah.
and this is not
Great.
something that I've seen anywhere. So can you
Yes.
tell me a bit more about it?
Um, we launched magnesium range very recently as well. One of the reasons why, like I said, we look at ourselves as a wellness brand more than a cosmetic or a skincare and a hair care brand.
Okay.
We look at where we can add value to the consumers in any form topically. And I think we came across magnesium as an ingredient a few years ago during pandemic.
Okay.
How most of us are deficient in magnesium. Almost 8 out of 10 people are deficient in magnesium, and that's simply because we've eroded our soil to an extent where the magnesium content in our food is not just, like I said, bioavailable through our food intake, and hence topically it needs to be, or orally it needs to be supplemented to raise your magnesium levels in optimum levels.
Mm-hmm.
Magnesium as an ingredient is a phenomenal but very underrated, product or an element in the body,
Okay.
because it's responsible for over 300 chemical reactions in the
Oh,
body, and
wow.
one of it is soothing and easing of muscle pain, cramping. It's great for relaxing your body and mind. It also helps induce sleep. It's great, as a calming product in your everyday use.
Mm-hmm.
It elevates pain. It also helps with muscle ache, joint aches. So
Okay.
it's a very multifaceted product, but very underrated as an ingredient, right?
Correct.
We understood from a lot of people that they were taking magnesium supplements because they're on doctor's recommendation, but magnesium when taken orally has a little bit of side effects.
Okay.
When applied topically, it actually bypasses the digestive system and goes directly into
Bloodstream.
the cellular structure.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's easier to apply topically, and the best way to do that is through a topical application lotion. So that's how we looked at this product, and we said there are a lot of people who are very aware of the benefits of physical activity today.
Mm-hmm.
Running, walking, swimming. People have made lifestyle choices, hitting the gym more often, taking
Mm-hmm.
care of themselves. COVID has accelerated that
True.
thought process as well for consumers. So I said, how can we add value to people who are wanting to take care of them, and performing a lot of physical activity, right?
Right.
How
Right.
do we ease the process for them? So that's how this particular product came into being, where we said, listen, let's add magnesium to the line, which will be a topical application and will be taking care of phenomenal pain points that consumers
Mm-hmm.
are going through every day. In fact, even for a women audience who are listening to the podcast today, it's phenomenal for period cramping. Magnesium
Okay.
helps with easing out the muscle tension, and helps with relaxing the muscle pain as well.
Okay.
And For athletes who are doing long endurance runs, it's a phenomenal recovery agent as well, right? It really helps recover the muscle stress, and elevates pain much quicker, and makes the muscle ready for the next strenuous activity. So I think it got phenomenal benefits, and that's how we landed upon on magnesium. And that product is actually working phenomenally well for the
Mm-hmm.
consumers. And one product that you mentioned, which is a sleep well product, that's one of the new age problems that a lot of us are facing today,
Mm-hmm.
with constant stress, being on screen most of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Our sleep cycles have been very, very badly disturbed. I
Correct.
think we need some external help to correct this cycle, because sleep is so underrated, but also important for proper functioning of the mind and body as well. So we decided that we needed to add a product which would help with this concern as well. And our sound sleep lotion actually contains melatonin in it, which helps produce the melatonin hormone, which helps induce restful sleep. So it's a non-addictive, non-dependent product, and it just helps. It just helps temporarily correct the problem, or helps you get a restful sleep. So with wellness in mind, we actually forayed into artificial libraries.
Amazing. So all of these are topical application products, if I'm correct.
Yes. We are only into
Okay.
topical application at this point in time. We have not ventured into the oral supplementation as yet.
Okay. So are you planning to?
You never say never, I would say,
Nice.
because we are constantly evolving ourselves. We are understanding, and more so that we are actually trying to get a very cohesive line of products which supplement each other, complement each other, if I may put it that way, to ensure that we are constantly adding value to the consumers in the best possible manner, under strict guidelines, and follow extremely safe and production practices, which which help consumers to then look at just one brand like ours, which is able to give you a head-to-toe solution for whatever you need on the topical application space. I think we are cementing our position as a leading organic and natural manufacturer of cosmetics and wellness products in the minds of the consumers. And I think that's a process that we're constantly aware of and working towards.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really good. Like I can see you actually are, what do you say? You actually deep into the knowledge of the same. You actually have a lot of knowledge around like your products, your things. You know your thing. That's what I can tell you, because I've had a lot of discussions.
Thank
So
you, Pritesh.
like I can tell like people who know about things, they can actually tell, and they tend to go deeper into the technical aspects of it as well. And that's what I've seen with you.
Absolutely,
So,
Pritesh. Thank you.
Pritesh, lastly, just this is the second last question. I have a very interesting question, last question for you. So, but before that, I would like to ask you, uh, for the individuals who are planning to start something of their own in the beauty and the personal care sector industry right now, what is like? Can you? What is one advice that you would
Right.
give them based on your job?
Very difficult question for me to answer at this point in time, Vishesh. I think unless and until you are adding real value to the consumers today, I think it's very difficult to identify yourself as a important or a significant player in the market, just because of the kind of brands that are already available in different aspects of in the skin and personal care industry itself. Right? You cannot be a Me Too product. That's one thing that we've obviously had a clarity of right from the inception of the company, because there are options galore available to the consumers today. It could be synthetic, it could be natural, it could be Ayurvedic, it could be herbal, or it could be organic, or like we are. I think it's important to first put the consumers at the top of everything that you do, right? If you're able to solve a real problem that the consumers are facing, then that's something that you need to focus upon, and listen to your consumers and give them solutions which elevate their your lifestyle, and address the problem at the same time. And if you're able to do that, then nothing like it. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's a Me Too product, then it's going to be a very difficult proposition to crack in today's market, because the barriers to entry is very minimal, right?
Correct.
So you need to understand, you need to be very clear about what you're actually solving, who you're
Mm-hmm.
solving for,
Mm-hmm.
and once you have that clarity, build your product around that, and double down on that bit,
Mm-hmm.
because a Me Too product is not going to take us very far, is what I
That is
understand.
absolutely correct. So that you mentioned it rightly that a Me Too product won't work in the market right now because there are a lot of options available to everybody at the moment. And I think
Yeah,
that's a right, like perfect answer to the question that I asked. The one good advice for everybody.
thanks,
Yeah.
Asher.
So coming to the
Yeah,
last question,
yeah,
I would like to
thanks.
ask you, what's your skincare routine?
I again, like, our philosophy, we keep it very simple, right? I think uh, what we recommend, in all our chats with the consumers. And by the way, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, that Juicy Chemistry is actually a product made for men and women alike.
Okay.
Everybody, in fact, can use organic, and it's a unisex product.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my routine is very simple, right? I mean, cleanse. Can't do without my uh, cold pressed certified organic soap bars. I think I changed the soap bars as per season. I think it's very hot and sultry right now,
Mm-hmm.
where I am. So a nice potato, tomato, and lemongrass soap really helps keep the skin oil free for a longer period of time. Has a
Mm-hmm.
hint of peppermint essential oil, which really keeps the skin prepped and fresh throughout long hours. Uh, uh, you know, we use our aloe vera gel for hydration, ampules for treatment. I have um, 40 now, so my skin needs a little bit more than a decade ago, I would say. So hydration is something that we take very seriously. So our ampules with hyaluronic acid post application of aloe vera gel really helps to keep the skin barrier strong, keeps
Mm-hmm.
it plump, and the you know uh, the skin healthy over a long period of time. And our serums, our facial oils are also something that I use as a last step before the use of sunscreen to prevent transepidermal water loss, and keeps the moisture within the skin for a long period of time. So keep the skin very healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And the last step is always sunscreen. Don't forget use of sunscreen. At Juicy Chemistry, we are working on a certified organic sunscreen. This is a little inside scoop that I'm giving you.
Oh,
Nobody else
amazing.
knows about this, but we are working on a certified organic sunscreen as we speak, and
Okay.
hope we hit the market very soon. So that's something
Amazing.
that we're really working on towards. So that's my morning routine, and same at night. Only the serums differ. I
Mm-hmm.
use an active serum at night, and in the mornings I use my ampoule. So
Amazing.
very three step simple process. You don't need to complex it. Like I said, consistency is the key to efficacy, and if you can do that, nothing like it. And we also have organic deodorants which keep me really fresh throughout the day. So that's very
Wow.
simple as that.
I think you should make a YouTube videos detailing out your own like routine. That would actually give you a
Yeah,
lot of views, I'm
absolutely,
pretty sure.
absolutely. Yeah, my social media team is really behind me to do something, but
Yeah, you should.
I've still not got around doing
No,
something. We'll
I'll tell
definitely
you
try it in the
honestly, for the kind of knowledge that you have, you actually can add a lot of value by like starting your
No,
own
thanks.
thing.
Glad you feel so, Vishal. Definitely try, give it a shot.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. So yeah, now inspiring others to start their content journey. That's amazing.
Uh,
That's really good.
it's
Yeah,
really difficult when you're juggling so many things. To be very honest, production,
honestly, yeah,
sourcing, certification,
exactly.
finance, quality, expansion.
Hmm.
It's a lot on your plate as
I
founders,
get
right?
you. I
So
get you.
content is something that you need to double down on. Really create quality content for consumers. Otherwise, it doesn't really add value to the listener, and that's just a waste of time. So I think
That
we've
is
not
true.
gotten around that space as yet, but hope to soon.
No, I completely feel you there. I've been actually trying to make some content. Earlier, I planned to keep this podcast 3 times a week, but I very soon realized that it could only be done once a week. So
Yeah,
that's what I come
absolutely.
down to.
Absolutely. Yeah,
But I
yeah,
think, yeah, like we'll start somewhere. Let's see how far it goes.
yeah. How far it goes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is a process, right? I think we learn as
Yes.
we go.
Yes. Exactly. So Pritesh, amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. It was lovely conversing with you, like getting to know Juicy Chemistry, get to know your like brand ethos, getting to know you, and getting to know all the this process behind whatever you're making, especially the cellular extraction technique that you mentioned. It was actually mind blowing, and I think I would definitely give your products a try. Honestly, I have not tried your products yet, but I would love to try your products, and definitely looking forward to uh, recommending it to friends and family as well. Right.
Thank you so much, Vishesh. Really glad. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing out time and coming for this podcast. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. I hope I could add some value to the listeners as
Oh,
well.
no, a lot of value. I'm pretty
Thanks
sure
for
people
having
are
me
going
on
to
the
love
show.
you. The listener are going to love you. I'm telling you because the kind of content that you have shared is not something that gets shared out every day, and the kind of knowledge that we can impart through podcast is something that I think is way more than any YouTube video or a 1 minute reel, some 30 seconds of 1 minute reel. Because here we get to talk about a lot of things in a deeper spectrum. Yeah.
I'm glad you feel so. Glad you feel so, Vishesh. Really pleasure being here on this podcast today, and thanks for having me again.
Pleasure is all mine, Pritesh. Thank you so much.